Yaakov came on the right time to hold the peace, baby.
What? What's that? When we
What
were
are you
learning
saying?
yeshiva
Put it on record.
every day, you left it on
I
behind which
left
Yaakov
my,
sits in those cabinets.
excuse me, my Gemara is Shabbos that we were learning in Beis Medrash. But my Gemara from the Daf, which I go to for the past 10 years, I've gone to 2 different Dafs. So I took it with me because I went to the other Daf, okay?
Ari's going to find the first few minutes of this one entertaining as well.
Right. I wanted to know, Gershon, I want to know one thing.
Yeah.
Why would you think anybody is interested in what time Chatzos is in Cleveland? Like,
I figured Ralph gave
That's
Chicago, I
because
gave Cleveland.
I was going to say, whoever wants to know what it is in Chicago also needs to know Cleveland, and then we're going to go around the world.
It was not easy controlling ourselves the day after Tisha B'Av.
Frankel's going to log in from Israel and give us the time there as well.
We still haven't hit in South Bend. It's Agave.
In South Bend, it's not even Chatzos yet.
I'm still fasting.
It depends what minyan you go to, because we also got a list of all the minyanim in South Bend. They also have a 10:45.
South Bend doesn't have chatzos. You don't have to wait. You're already in misery. So they let you go right away.
ooh.
It's not that Litvish.
Oh, Naphtali, boy. Woo, man.
There used to be an old joke in Gateshead.
I lived there. One second. I could talk. I went to yeshiva there for a year.
Sounds like almost as bad as Gateshead. There used to be an old joke in Gateshead. Tisha B'Av has more simcha than Purim. It says, Mishanichnes Adar, Marbim B'Simcha. So you go from level 0 to level 15 by Purim. Right? So you stop at the end of Adar. So you're on level 30. Then you get to Av, Mishanichnes Av, Mamatim B'Simcha. 30 minus 9 is 21. So you're on a higher level of simcha than you are by Purim.
That is way too lumdish for Purim.
You're right. Just from that word, you see, it's not the place for you, Jesse. It's not.
I was like, Gershon, if you can still do that math, you didn't drink enough on Purim. That's the problem.
Gershon, were you in yeshiva there?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I grew up in Gateshead.
Oh. I have a lot of family there.
Gateshead?
Yeah.
How much money do we all pay to unmute Siak? Listen in.
Yeah, the Steenbergs.
All right, so in a minute, we could just say we finished the daf.
Gonna say it might be
Maxie?
well, you know what? Gershon's still going, so maybe Taka. I think it might be the vaping guy.
We have a vapor?
They're my family over there.
Wow, Maxie's a great guy. I love him.
1 second, I have a good idea for entertainment. We could give Ari some entertainment when he logs on tomorrow. Look at ask Yaakov the over under how many shilas he got in the morning if they could start doing laundry before Chatzos.
What's your over under?
I don't know. I'm not sure what to go with.
I would go with 20.
Babar, what do you think? You want
no
in on this?
more than 20.
My son's home from
40?
camp, but
You
he's
think
leaving
40?
back to camp early, this, that.
He is planning to go on a gap year to Israel, and we have to just make sure that it's.
Hey, Marchuk, that's so interesting.
He's looking for that we think he's.
Marchuk, did they do tshuva yet?
Very exciting.
Parrots, for a second, I thought you unmuted Sviakov, and that was your mother.
Yeah, Marchuk, you were unmuted.
What? Leave me alone. I'm just sitting and minding my own business. You're picking on Naphtali.
Yeah, but you shared your business with everybody.
I'm just shutting up, not doing anything. Leave me alone. It was warm and fuzzy having parrots around. I'm gonna move to Cleveland.
The island sounded like they're having such a good time. I figured I don't have to get off the phone yet.
Jaco, so you got to settle the score. What's the over under? How many shilas you get about laundry this morning?
How many what?
How many laundry shilas did you get this morning? What's the over under?
I have no idea. I think I'm counting. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not.
Over 20?
Over 20?
Sure.
Oh, Gershon, you're out.
Over
How many
40?
people called you a scam?
How many people
Over
called you
40,
scam?
you said? Over,
Yeah.
you're really gonna make me count it? Hold on. I don't, what do I have to search? Laundry?
There's a lot of money
What do I
rising
search?
on this.
We got big money riding here.
Laundry.
Ramar, we gotta clean up.
Okay, no, 1 second. Is that how you spell laundry?
LAUNDRY.
Jabba, you have no excuse. You didn't go to CF.
What, you want to know about today only or since yesterday?
No, today only, this morning.
Today
Oh,
only.
no,
is
no,
already
Gershon, we
not
can do
so
already
much.
from
It was-
last night. From last night already.
Okay.
What's the question? How many texts you got?
We're Jewish. We started like
About laundry.
About laundry. Only about laundry.
About
From
laundry.
when does it start? When are you starting from?
From Mutzi
After the fast. After the fast.
Okay, that means I have
After the
to go
fast,
into
of all the mothers who want to know if they can start doing laundry, you know?
If we can
I'm
get
amazed that
wonders
people
here,
ask.
underwear
You
is
do
also
it or don't
considered
do it.
laundry.
I have to, what time is the
Pirates.
fast over? 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Let's say, yeah.
I'm going to miss Myra because of this here. All right, if you guys are having bets, 7:24.
Not because of our whole conversation, but because of this.
Very good.
I'm gonna go with 175.
On laundry? No.
No way.
No?
Laundry?
Naftali.
The house
Sit this
gets
one out,
10%.
Naftali.
Hold it. Baron, the house gets 10%.
Avada.
That's right.
Applying it to my dry aged meat.
Wait, I'm over or under?
You're way under.
175
You're
on
way
laundry?
over. No.
What?
You're way over, Naftali.
Way under, Naftali. Way under.
Pirates.
Jacob, I think you're
I'm
around
only,
40.
I'm only pulling up 3 on WhatsApp with the word laundry. Hold on.
You're assuming people spelled it correctly.
Wash, W-A-S.
Underwear.
There,
I
sin
have
is clean,
9.
you're not supposed to increase sin statement from Tisha B'Av. You know that, right?
Paris, it's a whole
I just wanna
different
make sure I
category of
got that one.
shilas you're gonna pull up.
I was gonna say that's a different category. That doesn't
All right,
count.
I don't think Tiago should do a search for underwear on his phone. I really,
Yeah, that could get dangerous.
There'll be a lot more shilas.
Be a lot
1,
more
2,
pictures.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would say somewhere between 20 and 30 with the word laundry/wash. I would have thought it's a lot more, so I have to do different searches for different things. But that's what it's between 20
How
and 30.
many
That's
cursed you out though? How many more cursed you out since this morning?
How many what?
How many more cursed you out since this morning though?
Oh no, I should really take screenshots and post that. Post it. You guys will get a Leo wants it.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
waiting.
you should
I'm
post
waiting.
that so we can take care of it right before Yom Kippur, because apparently we're all forgiven from what we learned.
Well, okay, so we'll do the what's over under be'erech. How many shilas were asked from over the entire, from after Shabbos till end of Tisha B'Av, till last night, late last night. How many shilas? If you wanted, you could do over under on that.
Wait,
Text.
from when? What's the timeline?
From when?
From
Motzei
the
Shabbos
beginning
to
of
Motzei
Tisha B'Av,
Tisha B'Av.
Motzei Shabbos till last night, 1 a.m. Whatever.
Does that compete with your Pesach season?
300.
189.
It competes with your Pesach season?
No.
300.
Yes,
750.
An average. 1 second. If it competes with Pesach season, then it's 700 plus.
750.
Oh no, I would say over 1,500.
I think it's somewhere in the area of 1,100.
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever.
How do you?
So I'm not so stupid after all.
How do you plan to answer all these?
Does that
What?
prove it?
How do you plan to answer all these and still learn and give share?
I have no idea.
1,100
How many unique?
Yes.
How many
Wait,
unique shilas
Pirates.
out of the 1,100?
11 what?
How many unique shilas out of that 1,100?
Not today. 50
3.
maybe. 50. You mean anything that requires any sort of thought?
Well, no, let's not get crazy. But I'm saying
100.
anything different? Are they all like the same shilah asked 16 times?
Pretty much. Yeah. 50. I would say between 50 and 100 were required some thought.
Let's go.
Okay.
Pirates, maybe you should stop the record and start it again. Just
What was
saying.
the most difficult
No.
shiloh?
What's it? Yuri needs his entertainment.
What was the most? What was the most?
By the way, today, parents, I got good entertainment from last night, so I appreciate the.
What was the most difficult?
He canceled his HBO.
Yeah, difficult.
What's the most difficult one? I don't even remember. There wasn't anything exceptionally difficult.
If Aaron's
cutting kids' nails. Cutting kids' nails yesterday. That made me stop and think. Right? Because these are the dinner
That's
9
a good.
days.
That's a good one, Taco. What'd you pass him on?
Yeah. I told them for the little kids they could do it, but it wasn't. I'm not sure.
Well, what was the one you asked me? That you told me about? Oh, the fainting.
Oh, that was a Geschmacka one, Tucker. That was a Geschmacka one. I forgot about that one.
One second, I want to hear about the Shiloh you were late with Gershon about.
No, it was after the
I
doc.
didn't mean that. I
Guys,
misspoke. You wasn't shy late to with me.
It came through on the
Relax.
post-game show.
Oh.
So a kid fainted after Maidim. Does he have to go back and repeat the whole Shemon Esrei?
When did he wake up? When did he wake up?
I don't know, but he for sure didn't wake up with the amount of time it would take to finish the Shemon Esrei. Right? So I told him he has to repeat it. He has to repeat it. If he has koyach, I said if he has
he's not utter from tefillah.
I said if he has koyach, then he should repeat it. If he doesn't have koyach, he shouldn't.
Hold on, there's a problem with falling asleep during Shemon Esrei?
If he faints, can he automatically eat?
Hey, Simcha, you're on the wrong side of the screen, Simcha.
He wanted to say hello to Yaakov.
Yeah. Tell him we'll take him back on this side of the screen whenever he wants.
If he faints, can he automatically eat?
Yes.
Then if he's in the middle of Shemon Esrei, he definitely has to go back and say it over. If he's in the middle of Shemon Esrei.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Does he need someone to make Havdalah for him?
I don't know.
No,
Okay, let's go.
Azatachan on Tano didn't count.
Yeah. I hear that. Okay, what do we get up to?
Eric just wanted to make Havdalah for another person. That's all.
with I hear that.
Get Aleph in the middle.
I don't remember what we got up to.
Aleph in the middle.
Oh yeah, we did. We're up to Meisvei.
Yud Aleph and Beis.
Yeah, Yud Aleph and Beis around 1, 2, 3, 7 lines down from the top. Yeah. So again, we're discussing whether the machlokes between Rav and Shmuel, whether you need to between Rav and Shmuel, whether cutting is going to make it a maisa to make it kosher. Meaning, if you take the schach, you take a vine, which is attached to the ground, which is pasal schach, you put it over the sukkah, and then you cut it. So, do you have to now shake the schach or not? So Rav said you don't have to shake the schach, so just the cutting it makes it into a maisa to make it kosher, right? Shmuel said no, you have to actually shake it. Then we tried to bring a raya from hanging the tzitzis without cutting it. If you took one long string of tzitzis, right, and then you put it back and forth and around and through, and then you cut it, so the same shayla. So Meisvei, so Gemara's going to ask a kasha on Rav. Tolon, you see it's about, what do we say, 8 lines down, 10 lines down, Meisvei. Tlon v'achakach pasak roshi chutin shalem psulin. If you hung it, right, and then afterwards you cut the tops of the ends of the strings, right, like even so, Aaron, you posted a picture, right? So, but you put one string through and went back and forth, and then you tied up the tzitzis with all the knots, and then you cut the string. Yeah, so then it's puzzle. But Tanya Gabi Sukkah, we also learned by Sukkah, tasa v'loimen asui. You have to actually make the sukkah. It can't be a prefab sukkah, basically, is what that means. Mikan Amru, the way we say, if you put a gefen and a dalas in the kisses, and then you use it for schach, psula, that it's possible. Hey, so what's the case? If it's somewhere where he didn't cut it, the reason why it's no good, the sukkah, is not because of tasalam and asli. Typically, the mechubar in the new, because they're attached. Right? It's attached to the ground. It's pasal stuff. It's talking about where they did cut them. Vegetani psula, and it says that it's possible. We don't say that cutting it is the way you make it. It's yufta the Rav, and it's a kasha. It's a kasha on Rav because you see that you have to shake it and you can't cut it. It's talking about where you didn't cut the vines, you just pulled them off the tree. So it's not recognizable that you actually took it. So since it's not recognizable that you actually took it, so therefore it still looks like it's attached to the ground, so therefore it's no good. But the Gemara asks, is this? One second. It says you put it up there and then you cut it, which according to Rav should be kosher. And it's saying that it's puzzle, so kasha l'Rav, so it's a kasha to Rav, kasha. So Gemara leaves off with a kasha, right? Yeah, fine. What do you want to say?
Does this tiyuv to the Rav mean on tzitzis? It's an interesting tiyuv to the Rav here. Rav never said anything by sukkah. Originally, who was it? Rav Yosef said Rav said it. Rav Huna said no, he didn't. Shmuel said it. Rav doesn't hold of it because of tzitzis. He has a raya from tzitzis. That's what we're going off. Rav never said anything by sukkah. Hidler. So this is a tiyuv to the Rav on Hidler from a raya by tzitzis.
Yeah, but I thought we said that it does apply to sukkah, no?
Only because we have a raya from tzitzis. And we had a problem with Shmuel. But Rav never said anything by...
Right, I hear.
We have nothing by sukkah according to Rav.
There goes my rib. All right. I don't know. Either way, the Gemara is clearly learning that Rav is talking about sukkah. It's clearly saying that. Okay, so let's see. So let's say that this machlokes Rav and Shmuel, whether cutting it makes it into a kosher sukkah, is a machlokes tanoim. Over v'likton pasol. If somebody was over and he cut, this is talking about, we're going to have this later on. This is a major sugya in the sugya of psikration, right? Where let's say a guy has hadassim that have berries on it. So the berries are going to make it, if there's more berries than there are leaves, and then that's going to be no good, the hadassim, right? So you cut them off and then it would be kosher. Can you cut them off on Shabbos? So you're not allowed to because it's tikkun. You're making a non-kosher hadas into a kosher hadas, right? So over v'likton, let's say you were over and you did take it off, it's possible. Reb Shimon ben Yatzadak, bar Yatzadak, that's Reb Shimon ben Yatzadak. Chachamim machshirin, and the Chacham say it's kosher. Right? So the kuli amalulav tzarach egen. We're thinking now that everybody holds that the lulav needs to be tied up, right? Meaning it needs the hadassim and the aravas, not the issur. We'll deal with that when Bez Hashem when we get to it. But why not the issur? But hadassim and the aravas and the lulav need to be tied together. The Yafina Lula Misukkah, we learn out Lula from Sukkah. It says by Sukkah that you should do it and not from something that was already done. So therefore, right, if you put the hadassim and the aravas onto the lulav and then you cut off the berries, so then it's Tasa v'loy min asay. My love. So what's the machlokes? And the machlokes here, is about the man the machshir savar amrina gabi sukkah kitzas and zuyasiyasa. The one that says it's kosher says that by sukkah, cutting it off is considered the asiyah, and it's good. But gabi lulav, nami, I'm reading the kitas and zuyasiyasa, and by lulav also we say that cutting it is the asiyah. Uman the puzzle, and the one that says that the hadassim are puzzle. Savar, he says, we don't say by sukkah that cutting off the schach what makes it a kosher schach. And by lulav also, that cutting it off is the asiyah. Yeah. Want to shop me 9 people so we can make our own menu? Yeah. Only if it's not a headache for them.
When is this talking? There's no lulav anymore on Shabbos.
That the lulav.
We're talking on Yantif.
Am I still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we hear you.
I think we lost you.
I think he went to the Ameriv.
Usually we're like
No,
done
he's
with the
trying to
daf
get
at this
9 people to not daven, so he has a minion later.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Usually we're 2/3 done with the daf by this point.
Well, that's what the other 9 people said. Did Gershon get on yet? Oh, he's on. Forget it.
Sorry, I don't know what just happened. At least I hopped pretty fast that it was busted. I'm all connected to regular internet. This is not the. All right, whatever. Anyways, apologize. So anyway, so we're saying that the machlokes by the hadasim and by cutting off the berries by the hadasim, whether the cutting makes it kosher or not, is the same machlokes as by sukkah, right? And with Mela, the machlokes Rav and Shmuel is the machlokes Tanoim. So Gemara answers loy the kuli alma layamrina gabi sukkah kitzisas and zuyasiyasim. We don't say by sukkah that cutting it is making it. The whole shaila is, do we learn out lula from sukkah? The one who says that if you cut off the berries from the hadasim, it's still kosher. We don't learn out lula from sukkah, right? But meaning you don't have to have the when you tie up the hadasim and the aravas, you don't have to have it all tied up. We learn out lula from sukkah, and therefore it has to be kosher hadasim and aravas before you tie it together. That's one answer. The lulav tzarech eged. If we hold that lulav needs eged, right? Then everybody holds that you do learn out lulav from sukkah. So what's the machlokes? Mar savar tzarech eged. One holds you need to have it tied up. Umar savar ain't tzarech eged. The other one holds that it doesn't need to be tied up, right? So meaning if you hold it has to be tied up, then when you put the hadasim with the berries into the package, whatever, into the wrapping up with the lulav, then that's not going to be kosher because it's not kosher. Then you cut off the berries, it's too late, right? It had to have been kosher before you tied it up. The other man that holds it doesn't need egg. But we're plugged at the Hani Tanoim. We're going with the machlokes of these Tanoim. The Tanya, we learned in a brisa probably 20 minutes. Halulav, bein agud, bein she'ein agud kosher. Halulav, whether it's tied up, whether it's not tied up, is kosher. Have you daimer? Agud kosher, she'ein agud pasul. If it's tied up, it's kosher. It's not tied up, it's pasul. Now, this is meaning this machlokes here is whether you need to have your hadasim and aravas tied onto the lulav or not. Yeah, we're going to see this in the third paragraph. My time, Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason, Rabbi Yehuda? Yalaf lakicha ma'agudas ezav. We learn out lakicha from the hyssop, the bundle of Esau, the hyssop, right? That they had to take the blood in Mitzrayim. They took the blood and they put it onto the doorpost so that Hashem would know who to skip over. So there, they had to take a bundle. It says you have to take an agudas ezav. And it says here, and he should take it b'yom rishon. Just like over there, you have to take it in a bundle. So too by lulav, you also have to take it in a bundle. You don't learn out the word lakicha from lakicha. I mean, you can't make. Meaning they didn't. Rashi says they didn't have the Messiah. Right? They didn't have the Messiah for it, so they couldn't learn it out. Yeah. Meaning it's not pshat that they're saying that the lakicha is not a gzeira shava. It's a fine gzeira shava. They just never learned it. Okay, so leave it. So let everybody down. Yeah. I'll go to Samar. Okay, sorry. So then Gemara says, "Kaman Ozla Hadatanya Lulav." Kaman Ozla Hadatanya Lulav mitzvah la'ogdai. Lulav, it's a mitzvah to wrap it up. Bim la'ogdai kosher. And if you didn't, it's still kosher. So this is your classic lechatchila b'diavad, meaning it's a mitzvah to tie up your hadasim and aravas to the lulav. Right? If you didn't, it's kosher. Rav Yehuda, who could this be? If it's Rav Yehuda, kilay ogdai, am I kosher? If you didn't tie it up, why is it kosher? And Rabbanan, am I mitzvah? Then according to Rabbanan, why is it a mitzvah? They hold you don't need it. The Gemara says, La'ilam Rabbanan, really, it's the Rabbanan who holds you don't need to have it knotted up. It says This is Hashem. This is Hashem. He's saying, "This is Hashem and make him beautiful." It's not the fun of the mitzvahs. Make yourself beautiful with him in mitzvahs. So for some reason, tying them everything together, you need to tying it together somehow makes it beautiful, right? There's an interesting Rashi.
Is this making it a deraisa? Does this make it a deraisa?
Because of Zekeli Vanveyu?
Yeah.
Does that make it into a deraisa?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the other sheet that it holds it is Gzeir Shava Lakicha, then L'chara, that's deraisa that you have to.
Okay, but here you're doing it
Right.
is
He's saying this one would maybe be a deraisa,
put
I'll
it
say
into
Kili
that
Vanveyu.
category.
Right. I hear.
It would be a separate mitzvah, not mitzvah's lulav. Mitzvah of hiddur mitzvah.
No, but you're doing it with the lulav. Doing that ma'isa is that, I guess that's part of the mitzvah of lulav, no?
Yeah.
I think it's a machlekes a paiskim. If hiddur mitzvah is its own mitzvah or not.
I don't know. I hear. But the
Yeah,
that's
that's the ma'isa with the brisker rov. Which issur you take first?
Right, which is better. But that's how it's hiddur, and I don't know if that's a kili b'aveyu. That's a din in hiddur. That might be also the rice of hiddur, right? I hear. Whatever Rashi says, sukkah no, lulav no, tzitzis no. I don't know what Rashi's picking on those three b'dafka, right? So okay, fine. Ze'aklal kol davar shemekabel tumah. Anything that's mekabel tumah. Right, so we said that there's two requirements for schach. It has to grow from the ground, and it can't be mekabel tumah. So how do we know? We know immediately. How do you know that it has to be mekabel tumah? Not mekabel tumah. Amar Reish Lakish, Amar Kra, ve'ed yalam in haaretz. And there should be how do you touch aid? It's fog, I guess.
Clouds
rise up from the ground. So
Isn't it a mist? There's some kind of a mist.
Mist. Oh, it's a mist. I don't know what difference is a cloud and a mist. I hear. Right, so that's talking about in the Sheshis Mebereshis. Yeah. So what does it mean? It's just like this aid. It's not mekabel tumah, and it grows from the ground, meaning ultimately the mist, the clouds start from the ground. So too sukkah has to be from something that doesn't grow that grows from the ground is not mekabel tumah. Yeah. So so that goes well according to the mandomer that says that sukkah is talking about anania covered, not a physical sukkah. It just means like whatever the anania covered or these clouds that protected Klal Yisrael. Right? El mandomer sukkah is mamish, but according to mandomer it says that Klal Yisrael actually sat in sukkahs. Sukkahs mamish also lehem, that they were made actual sukkahs. Ma'ikul meimar. What are you going to say? Right? How do you know that schach grows from that has to grow from that has to be mekabel tumah, grow from the ground? It has to be not mekabel tumah. Yeah, we're on 5 lines up from the bottom. 5 lines up from the bottom. Yeah, the Tanya, because it says in a brayso, "Sukkahs ishavti es bnei Yisrael." It says Hashem says, I sat bnei Yisrael in sukkahs. Anane covered hoy. They were Rebbe Eliezer. Those was anane covered, not actual sukkah. Rebbe Kiva, sukkahs mamish also. We made actual sukkahs for them. So Rebbe Eliezer, Rebbe Kiva, the Gemara repeats itself. Right, the same question. It's the same question. That's good according to Rebbe Eliezer, who says that the sukkahs were anane covered. But according to Rebbe Kiva, who says it was an actual sukkah. How do you know that sukkah is supposed to come from the ground and it's not supposed to be mekabel tumah? It's kiyasar of dimi. It says you should make a chag sukkahs for yourself. Makish sukkah lechagiga. So you make a hekish from the word chag, which is for the carbon chagiga. Ma chagiga, the carbon chagiga. Davar she'ena mekabel tumah. It's an animal. Animals can't become tumah. Right? Vigidula min haaretz, and they grow from the ground. Right? Now, what's the pshat that they grow from the ground? Since when the animals grow from the ground? So Rashi says because they They eat grass. Yeah. Yeah. So too, something that's not mekabel tumah and it has to be something that's not mekabel tumah and grows from the ground, right? A very interesting thing. Again, we're making a hekesh between the korban chagiga, which is an animal, which is not mekabel tumah, and it gets its food from the ground. Therefore, he looks at it like it grows from the ground, right? So and it says in the pasuk chag and it says sukka. So therefore, sukka has to have the same qualification. Where I ask the pasuk the kasha on Amud Aleph, if that's the case, a chagiga is a live animal. So maybe you should use only schach of live animals, right? Yeah. Now I don't know. Does it mean that it should be covered with a live animal or just animals, animal skin? I think it just means animals. I don't think it has to be a live animal.
Animal skin is mekabel tumah. Animals live are not mekabel tumah.
I'm saying the Gemara has a havamina that you should put a live animal on the schach.
Yeah.
No.
What?
A bunch of squirrels instead of leaves.
Okay.
Or a hornet nest.
What are you going to tie it down to your sukka?
I guess you'd have to tie it down to the sukka. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you going to tie it down?
It'd be like putting a chicken coop up there. You put enough chickens in there, and they as long as it's more.
Yeah. So they probably would have quite a smell, the sukkah.
Yeah, that would not be acceptable.
Which we're going to see in tomorrow's daf.
Any animal up there for 8 days is going to make a stink.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's not.
What are you saying, Zev?
It's not schach. The Gemara would have a havamina like that.
No, the Gemara is saying if you're comparing it to chagiga, so then you got to compare it all the way. A chagiga is a live animal.
Talk about things that belong to animals.
I don't know. So where do you would draw the line? I mean, the Gemara slugs it up based on this kasha. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so weiter. So kiyasa Rabban Amar Rav Yochanan Amar Kra be'asmacha migarncha miyekvecha. It says that when you're gathering, right? It's called chaga asif, right? That's what chaga sukkah tasa l'cha shivas yomim. Be'asmacha migarncha miyekvecha. When you gather from the goyren is from the place that you do the threshing, and the yekev is the grapes. The psilas garden v'yekev across the madaber. The pasuk is talking about the psilas of the garden v'yekev, which grows. That's meaning the junk, like the how do you call it? The stems and all the chaff, the husks, all that stuff, which grows on the ground and it's not mekabel tumah.
If we're talking about the remnants from wine, wouldn't that also be a dira srucha?
Why?
The squashed grapes, they reek.
Do they?
Give them a day in the sun, they definitely will.
I hear. I don't know. That maybe it doesn't mean grapes. Maybe it just means like the stems.
Isn't that Yaakov?
It's the psilas of the Yaakov. That's what the Gemara is saying now. I don't know. Let's see how the Gemara asks. Because the Gemara asks similar kashas. Rashi says, you're right. Smairos v'eshkoilos rekonim, empty. I don't know what that means. Everything is squeezed out from it. Okay. So but the Gemara asks a different kasha. Maybe it means the actual wheat and the actual wine. Right? Meaning you have to take a barrel of wine and put it onto your schach. And that's what it says. It says the word yekev, you're right. It does say yekev, which is wine. But you cannot, how are you supposed to put wine on top of your schach? How exactly is that going to work? You can't put wine for a schach because it's liquid. Yeah. So maskal Rav Yirmiyah, Beima Yain Karush. No, meaning so what? Since you can't put actual wine, must be it's the psilas from the wine. Right? Must be psilas from the wine, and therefore that's how we know that you're supposed to use things that grow from the ground that can't become tamid. No, but the maskal Rav Yirmiyah, Beima Yain Karush above Mishna. I have no idea what this is, but it's some sort of gelled wine.
We had it in Avodah Zarah, Yaakov. They used to freeze the wine for the soldiers. They
I
keep
thought
it
that
in
was
their
they put it
knapsacks.
into.
And what
Is that what it
happens
was?
when it rains?
You get
It
wet.
rains.
What happens to you when it rains?
Your schach all. So the wine doesn't uncongeal.
I don't know. It's some
If
sort
it's
of
frozen
congealed
when
It's
it
like
melts.
the Hanukkah.
congeals,
It's like
yeah.
those Hanukkah nares that you take to go.
It's like Jello.
That's right. That's those Hanukkah.
It's like
It's gel.
He's
Yeah.
Right,
wearing
and the
date
sun, the
cakes.
stuff.
He's wearing date cakes. Honey date.
If it's frozen, it'll melt.
It was
but the
frozen
Jello stays
wine.
there.
They gave soldiers.
No, he's saying no.
frozen
Simon's
wine.
saying it's like it's some sort of congealed wine. It's similar to a cake of figs.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is that slugs it up, because maybe you should use that. We thought we had pshat because we thought it's very nice. It can't be actual wine. It has to be the junk from the wine, right? And Rabbi Yeria came and he threw an axe into it, right? Because he slugged it up. He said, no, maybe there is a way to put wine up there, some sort of congealed wine. So we have no proof, according to that it's the psilus of the garden yakin. Ravashi Amar migarn chaveloy gairin atzmai, from the gairin and not from the actual floor and not the gairin itself. That's the way he learns it. Miyekvecha veloy yekev atzmai. Yekvecha means from the place that they squeeze the grapes, not from the actual product, but from the place that they squeeze it. So memela means that you just take the junk. Bring for me leaves from olives and leaves of an oil tree. I don't know exactly what an oil tree is. What type of oil is that? Canola? I don't know.
Olives, no?
No, the first one is olives, right? It says ale zayis va'ale eitz shemen. I don't know. It must be some sort of different. I guess you can get oil out of trees, no? I guess.
Oil.
So va'ale hadas and the leaves of hadas and va'ale tamarim and dates va'ale eitz avos and from eitz avos. So Gemara says hainu hadas hainu eitz avos. Isn't hadasim eitz avos? Isn't that the same thing? Right. So Amar Chisda noticed two types of hadas. Hadas shaita l'sukka. Hadas shaita, which doesn't have. We'll see later on. Not in a few blots, a bunch of blot that hadas that only has two leaves coming out, not three, is called hadas shaita. So that you use for your sukkah because it's not kosher for hadas. The eitz avos l'lulav and use an eitz avos l'lulav. So bottom line is we have two mekabels. Where we know that you're supposed to use things that grow from the ground and things that are not mekabel tumah. Right? Okay. Zog the Mishna. Chavile kash, v'chavile eitzim, v'chavile izrodin, bundles of straw, wood, and some sort of other cane. Sugar cane. So ein masachem, you're not allowed to be masachem them, even though they're all kosher, right? We just got finished saying that it has to grow from the ground. Now the Gemara is saying, 1 second, there's a caveat here. If it's bundled up, you're not allowed to use it. The kula and shetiron ksheris, and if you untie them, then they're going to be kosher. The kula and ksheris lidfanis, and for walls, they're all kosher. Everything is kosher for walls. It's only an issue with the schach. Fine. So Zog the Gemara Amar Yaakov, Shamas minad Rav Yochanan Tarti. We heard two things of Rav Yochanan. Chadaha. One is this Mishna. The idach, and the other one is hachaytit begadish lasas lesukka. If somebody digs out a thing of straw to make a sukkah, ain't a sukkah. It's not a sukkah. Meaning, if you take the big pile of straw and instead of building walls and schach, you just dig it out. So basically, you never actually touched the schach. That was there the entire time. You just dug out a hole. So so those are the two halachas we learn. One is our Mishnah that bundles can't go on top of the schach, on top of the sukkah. And the other one is that you can't use, you can't dig it out from a big pile. And what were the reasons for the issur? One was the gzera of maybe you're gonna use it as a storage house. And one because of tasav and I don't know, And I don't know which reason did he ask which sukkah. Again, the two sukkahs that he said are also one with the bundle on top, and one that you can't dig it out from a pile. And one was also because of this gezerah called issur, which we'll see in a minute what that is. And one was also because of tasa v'leiman asui, meaning you're not actually making a sukkah. Let's see. Why is it that you're not allowed to use a bundle for schach? So the reason is because a very fascinating gezerah. Sometimes a guy will come home from the field, be'erev in the evening, and he has a bundle of, the fruit of his labor, literally. He has a bundle of straw or wood or whatever it is on his shoulder. And he says he comes and he says, oh, this is a good spot for it to dry. And then and then he changes his mind. He says, hey, you know what? The stuff is already on top of the sukkah. I might as well let it be a schach. And the Torah says you have to do it, and you have to be the one to do it, and not menasei. And since he put these bundles up on the top before, and then he decided with a sukkah, right? So it's a problem of issur. So we're going to say that the reason why you can't put a bundle on top is a gezerah because of issur. Then digging out the hole must be digging out the sukkah, the hole in the sukkah in the pile of grain for the sukkah must be out tasa v'leiman asui. Yeah. But so that's what he's saying. The one putting it on top is a gezerah's issur, because we're afraid that the guy is going to bring it to put it up on there to dry. And the other one is by digging it out, because you're not actually dealing with the
didn't
sukkah.
they say within the reason?
Yeah, because there definitely is an issur in the Torah. It's a good question, Natal. It's definitely in the Torah an issur tasa v'leiman asui. But we're afraid this one's not tasa v'leiman asui, right? Because it's kosher schach.
But he didn't put it for that purpose. He put it for to dry out, and he didn't put it
right.
up.
we're saying it's derabanan that it might lead to it. Meaning, if you put up the bundle, the l'shem schach, kosher. According to this, before this gezerah, yeah. So then, right. So they made this gezerah atu. Right. So that's what we're saying. That's a gezerah's issur, because yes, ultimately you're right. It's going to lead to tasa v'leiman asui, but not if you lechatchila put it up to l'shem schach. We asered it. The chachamim asered putting any bundle on your sukkah, even if you do it l'shem schach, because we're afraid that it's going to lead to a situation of tasa v'leiman asui. What are you saying? No, tasa v'leiman asui is deraisa. Tasa v'leiman asui is deraisa, which we're going to see in a minute. Okay, so now how come Rabbi Yaakov didn't know which one he said? But Rabbi Yaakov, after he never heard of it. So since he never heard of it, so then it's he didn't hear this, so that he didn't know which reason was given for which one. Okay, so Amar Ravashi, is the only reason why you're not allowed to put a bundle of straw on top of your sukkah is because of the gezerah of issur and not for tasa v'leiman asui, right? And somebody who digs out the pile of straw, there's only a problem with tasa v'leiman asui, gezerah issur leka, and does not have this gezerah of issur, right? Meaning it could be, you can say both, which is sort of what Naphtali's, I think maybe Naphtali was headed at. Who says you say one for the other? They both could be tasa v'leiman asui issues, and they could both be issur issues, right? The guy could decide to dry up his straw, for whatever. So Rabbi Yochanan will tell you no. And here, where we say there's no schach lechatchila, right? That means in lechatchila, Taisus takes out lechatchila, right? Because even b'diavad, it's no good. Or whatever it is, he's saying that it says ein mesachin, and you can't use it as schach, that is a gezerah derabanan. The ein mesachin mishum gezerah's issur. But you can't be mesachich it because of the gezerah. We're afraid that you're going to put it in there for storage and then change your mind. Hadaraisa, Shabbat, midaraisa though, putting a pile of straw on top of the sukkah would be okay. And Hassam the Katani ain't a sukkah, and there where we said that it's not a sukkah, feel the Evid, even with the Evid, which again Tysus takes that out because midiraisa name ain't a sukkah, because even midiraisa it's not a sukkah, because we say minat Torah, it's tasa v'lo mina asur. Okay, it's a little bit confusing there with the girsais, but exactly what it means. What the point is that the maskanas of Gemara is that you're not allowed to put the bundle as a gezerah, and this that you're digging out, if you dig out a sukkah from a huge pile of straw, that's not a gezerah, that's mamash in the derabanan. Fine. Yeah. So this is the rest of the dam is fairly simple. Schach bechitzin secharim ksheira b'nekevas psula. So if you did your schach with arrows, that male arrows, then it's kosher. Female arrows, it's puzzle. All right. So anybody that knows a little plumbing, I don't know if Avi's still on there. All right. So you have the male and the female. Yeah. So basically, the way it is that an arrow, if the wood part of the arrow goes into the metal, then that wood is a male, right? And the metal is a female. If the metal goes into the wood and there's a hole in the wood and the metal tip of the arrow goes into there, then the wood is a female. So basically it's mekabel tumah, right? If it has an opening in it, what's the main requirement of Kabbalah's tumah? It has to be a clay kibble, right? So clay kibble would be a female. So the Gemara is saying, so if you use males, which is one big straight wood and the wood goes into the metal tip, so then you're kosher schach. But if it's a nekeva, if the wood is the nekeva and meaning with the metal tip goes into the wood, then that's
basically
a
nekeva. Hollow?
Bamboo.
What? You're saying it's hollow wood?
Correct. Which one is sticking into what? That's a basic way to understand it. Is the wood going into the metal tip, or is the metal tip going into the wood? If the metal tip is going into the wood, then it's mekabel tumah, and it's no good.
Bamboo, no?
Like bamboo, yeah, bamboo. So the question is, how come bamboo we use bamboo? It's a good question. Yeah, so
bamboo, it grows like that. It grows like that. You didn't dig out.
If it's a clay kibble, it's a clay kibble.
It's not
right.
It's not a clay kibble. Bamboo, it comes like that.
Rabeni, I have a shot cup made out of bamboo. 2 of them.
You have a what?
Actually, bamboo. It's a shot cup. They cut it in half, and it's a shot cup. Yeah, shot cup. To make a l'chaim with.
Oh, wow.
So that's mekabel. At least I'm mekabel.
So that would be that you can't use a schach, but a piece of bamboo you can use. Okay.
Why is the female one puzzle?
Because it's a clay kibble. The wood of the arrow is the clay kibble.
The clay kibble, right.
Right, so Gemara is going to say, Scharim, Ksheira, Pshita, the Zachar is kosher, it's pashut, it's a plain piece of wood. Shute klietz, it's not mekabel tumah. So Gemara says, no, Mao, the same in Nigzar, Scharim, Atu, Nekevas, you might make a gezerah. That if you're going to allow the male wood arrow, then you might end up allowing the female, which has a clay kibble in it. Kamash Malanda, we don't make the gezerah. Yeah. So Amar Mar, in the keva's psula, shita, it's pashut, and in the keva's puzzle. Right? Mao, the same a base kibble, also lamalis loishme kibble. You would think that a base kibble that's meant to be filled up is not a clay kibble, meaning you make this wood arrow, right, with a hole in it so that you could stick the metal tip in it. So it's very nice that for the 10 minutes that you built or whatever, you formed this wood arrow and it has a clay kibble in it, but you're immediately going to fill it up with metal, right, to make an arrow. Why is that called a clay kibble? Why isn't that just considered a pshute klietz? You're going to immediately fill it up, right? So that's what the Gemara is saying. You would think that since it's going to be filled up, so then that's not considered a base kibble, kamash malon, that it is. So therefore,
is this a mekabel for cans on Shabbos? Aluminum cans.
That what?
They're meant to be filled up, and that's it. They're done. So they're garbage. It's not a keli.
I don't know if they bring this as a raya, but maybe a tefillas kela, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I hear that. Okay, weiter. So Amar Rabbi Bar Chana Rabbi Yochanan, schacha ba'anitze pishton psula. If you do schach with bundles of flax, it's puzzle. Behutzne pishton kosher. If you do it with flax that was not finished, it's kosher. Behushne pishton, and somewhere in the middle, somewhere between the finished and the unfinished, any day amau, I have no idea what the din is. Right? So what it says, Behushne atzman ena yedeya, right? He's saying in Hushni and says, I don't know either. Manasha, eat diet, but like nafits, Hushni curry like. If you hit it, because you're supposed to hit the flax to get it to get away all the junk, and you didn't comb it, then that's Hushni. Avoltari, but if you soak it, the light diet, and then you don't hit it, then Hutzni curry, it's called Hutzni. Idoma, Tori v'loy diet, nami Hushni curry, or maybe when you soak it and you don't hit it, that's also called Hushni. So it leaves us at Tzarachin. The Gemara doesn't comment on it. The Gemara just leaves it at that. He doesn't know. So basically, there's three types of flax that you could have. You have anitzim, with the finished product, puzzle. You have the unfinished product is not puzzle because it's not mekabel tumah. So the finished product is mekabel tumah. The unfinished product is not mekabel tumah, and then you have the middle case where he doesn't know. Fine. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Hani shushe ushvatzri mesacheren. These are types of Rashi says they're types of vegetation. You're allowed to use this as schach. Abai Omer b'shushi mesacheren, b'shvatzri la mesacheren. B'shuchi yes, shvatzri not. My time. What's the reason? Kivon on Tamid Aleph. Kivon the sari rechayu. Since it's very smelly, shavik luvanavik, you're going to end up leaving the sukkah and going out. So we don't want you to leave your sukkah. So therefore, bad smelling things you can't use as schach. These brambles, what do you call it? It's and a snare. Rashi says it's snare. Types of snare, right? Like that stuff that rolled on the floor in the Peanuts, right? In the Peanuts cartoons.
Tumbleweeds.
I think.
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds, yeah, tumbleweeds. And the old westerns and all that, yeah. I don't think I ever watched a western, but I know. But yeah, I know from the oilam that watch westerns on the daf or on other shiurim that go on this channel, right? But anyways, so these types of thorns or whatever, so you mesachich on it. Abaya Omar behizmi mesachin, behizmi you're allowed to, behigi la mesachinam. My timer, given the nasri tzarfayu, since they fall off, right? The thorns dry up and they fall off, like we added 2 blot ago, that you want to put a sheet under your schach in case the leaves dry off. So shavik luvanavik, if you have thorns start falling on your head in the sukkah, you're going to leave the sukkah. So therefore, anything to basically the rule that the Gemara is saying here now is that anything that could theoretically be kosher b'schach, but it's going to make you want to leave the sukkah, you're not allowed to use that as schach. Okay, we're caught up, Baruch Hashem. Sorry for the late start. And yeah. What? Oh yeah, Taka. Let's see if there's Lavana here. Yeah.
What about it?
Wants to know if you can use it as schach.
Yeah.
The waiter's down in my room. Not here. Rabaran, somebody just texted me a shaila. The kids upshare in Bayba Yom comes out on Wednesday. Can they push it to Sunday? The Bayba Yom of the upshare.
Wow. It's a major. It's a major. I think you should tell them to call Reb Duffy.
I should, so they can get a good screaming at.
You can't handle such a shaila. You need Reb Duffy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have smicha, Rabbi, to answer that one?
Yeah. So, believe me, tonight when I'm going to sleep, I'll try and post on the chat some of this stuff that went on. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway, all right. Gotta go find myself a miter somewhere in the country.
Because
Thank you.
Chicago.
See you in the morning.
It's